Hello everybody and welcome to the final review video on the two SCYTHE CPU coolers that were recently sent out to me by the company SCYTHE for review purposes. I just want to give a huge thank you to them for sending out their Mugen 5 Revision B and the Grand Comma Cross 3. In this video I'm going to basically be putting these two coolers to the test. We're going to be seeing how well that they keep our CPU cool. If you did not catch the unboxing video of these coolers, you can go ahead and check that out at the card on screen right now if you're interested, but let's just go ahead and get on with the reviews. Alright, so let me just go ahead and give you a brief overview of how we're going to be testing these coolers. So what I'm going to do is mainly run two simple tests. I'm going to see what temperature that the CPU is at idle and what it is at under load. And we're going to do this with all three different coolers. So the stock one that's on the system right now, then the SCYTHE Mugen 5, and then the SCYTHE Grand Comma Flex. So we're going to be seeing how cool that mainly the two other coolers keep the CPU both idle and under load. Alright, so before we jump into the benchmarks of these coolers, I first want to talk about each one individually and kind of go through the specifications of it, the price, and a general overview of the features that each of these coolers provide. So first off, I do want to say that both of these coolers do support the new AM4 platform, so the AM4 socket. So if you have a new Ryzen processor, you are going to be able to use these coolers with it. But I will have all of these sockets that are supported by each cooler listed on screen while I am talking about it. So we're going to go ahead and start off with the Mugen 5. So this cooler retails for $47.99 on Amazon, and the design of this cooler definitely reminds me of the Cooler Master Hyper 212 Evo. That was a cooler that I used previously in an older build, and this cooler has the same design going on, although it is a much beefier cooler. This thing is a lot more heavy duty than the Hyper 212 Evo. This cooler measures in at around 6 inches tall, so be sure to go ahead and check the measurements of your case to make sure that these coolers are going to fit into them. That is going to be very important if you actually go out and decide to purchase one of these coolers. You are going to want to make sure it fits in your case. Inside the box, the first thing at the very top is the box of mounting hardware. Inside of this box, you're going to find things like the back plate for the motherboard, so you can secure this cooler to the motherboard. You're going to find all of your screws, the instruction booklet, the fan mounting pieces, and also very nicely, they do include a screwdriver as well. It also comes with one 120mm fan, but this does support up to 2 fans on each side of it, and you can purchase the additional fans for $10.99 on Amazon. They are sold separately, but they do make them. Now the Grand Comma Cross cooler, this one sells for $49.99, so that's just a few dollars more than the Mugen 5, and this thing I have to say is a beast. This is a very, very beefy cooler. The design of this one is very unique. It's in this V shape. I haven't actually seen this before on another cooler, but I'm sure that there are other companies that are doing this as well, and because of that it makes it very large. So this cooler is much larger width-wise than the SCYTHE Mugen 5, and this one did not actually fit in the case of the computer that I was using to perform these tests. I actually had to take the motherboard out of it and kind of make like a little makeshift test bench for these coolers. So this one is also around 6 inches tall, so it's about the same height-wise as the Mugen 5, but width-wise it is much larger. So you are going to want to make sure that you check the dimensions of your case to make sure that this will fit inside of it. This cooler also does come with that same mounting hardware box with all your screws, the backplate mount for the motherboard, the instructions, and this also does include that nice screwdriver as well. So now let's go ahead and get on with the test results. I do want to say right up front that all of these tests were performed on a test bench computer that was not housed inside of a case. So on screen right now you guys are going to see the 3 different temperatures of each cooler and how cool it was able to keep the CPU. So as you can see from our average temperatures here, the stock cooler at idle is around 30 degrees Celsius. under load it was around 50 degrees Celsius. For the Mugen cooler, it was 25 idle, 35 load, and the Grand Kama 22 idle and 30 load. So I just want to point this out here. The idle temperature of the stock cooler is equal to the load temperature of the Grand Kama cooler. So that is definitely doing a very effective job at keeping this CPU cool. Obviously, the stock cooler is going to have a much higher load temperature because it's not as high quality of a cooler as both the Mugen and the Grand Kama. It's obviously, just a cheap stock Intel cooler. And again, this was just one test, and this was also not enclosed inside of a case, so you're gonna have to take that into account when you look at these temperatures. If you have your system mounted inside of a case, obviously your temperatures are going to be a little bit higher, but this gives you a pretty good idea at how well that the Mugen and the Grand Kama do at cooling your CPU. And honestly, that is pretty much it for the review of these two coolers. I again wanted to just give a huge thank you to the company SCYTHE for sending these out to me. Would I recommend these coolers? I mean, by looking at these test results, if you're in the market for a new CPU cooler that does a very good job at keeping your CPU cool, these two might be very good options that you want to consider. Again, I'm going to have product links for both of these down below in the video description. And I just want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, definitely sure to give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this in the near future, be sure to get subscribed and drop me a comment down below letting me know your thoughts. And as always, I will see you guys in the next video.